Hello, this is Angrymessiah for Team PFG. I'm doing a deck profile on my Crystal Beasts. So yeah, let's get on to this. The beginning of the deck is the main way it runs. 3 Saphire Pegasus. If you don't know, they put a Crystal Beast in the spell and trap card zone from your hand, deck or graveyard as soon as they're summoned. And that's what gets the deck running. Then we have 2 Summoner Monks. Because you run a shitload of spells in this, and just to get the Sap Pegs out as fast as possible to keep your deck going, they just make the deck run a lot faster. So yeah. Then 2 Ruby Carbuncles. I only run 2 because they get a bit dead in the hand. When they're special summoned, you get all the Crystal Beasts in your spell and trap card zone you can special summoned. So it's good for reusing your Pegasuses that have died off and just making your swarm a lot faster. Then Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger, 3 of. He's a nice big beater when he attacks, and of course he's a Crystal Beast, so he goes to the spell and trap card zone when he dies. Just helps fill him up a bit more. Then 3 Crystal Beast Amber Mammoth. Again, these lure in attacks, but that's not really what it's used for. It's just so you have another set of Crystal Beasts to go in your spell and trap card zone. Plus 1700 is not too shabby. Then just the 1 Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle. He's to reuse your Pegasus. So you put it on top of your deck, summon it again next turn, keep putting more and more in your spell and trap card zone. Helps with some of the other cards in the deck, which I'll get to in a bit. Then, as this is a OTK variant of the Crystal Beasts, I run just 2 Hammons. He's nice to be able to get out 4000 attack and 4000 defense. Not too hard to fulfill the summoning condition. You only need 3 Crystal Beasts in your spell and trap card zone, or any continuous spells, but they're all I use. So, plus when he's in defense, he lures in attacks, so he's a bit of stall if you can't go for game. And he does 1000 damage whenever he kills anything, so it's good. Next we've got 2 Dragon Queens of Tragic Ending. Again, they need 3 Crystal Beasts in the spell and trap card zone to come out, or continuous spells. It's nice because it doesn't send them to the graveyard, so it's basically a costless summon to begin with. When it attacks, it makes your opponent discard if it inflicts battle damage, it makes your opponent discard a card and you draw one, which is nice to have a bit of extra draw. Plus, whenever it dies, you can bring it back from the graveyard by sending one of your continuous spells during your standby phase. So it's easy to keep it out. It's only got 1900 attack, so it can't run over most things, but little level 4s are fine. And the 2/6 defense means it can be used as a bit of stall if you're struggling. Right, then on to the spells and traps. We've got 3 Crystal Release. They give your Crystal Beast an extra 800 attack, and when it goes to the graveyard, it puts another Crystal Beast in your spell and trap card zone. So it just keeps on filling you up, and it makes your Crystal Beast able to actually run some things over, which they usually struggle with. Then 2 Crystal Blessings. Again, this deck's really tight for space, so that's all I could really fit in. Plus 3, you tend to end up drawing it too soon before you have enough Crystal Beasts to use it. It just puts 2 from your graveyard in your spell and trap card zone, so you can use it to get your Hammons out and Dragon Queens, and the next card I'm going to show you. 3 Abundance. Pretty much every Crystal Beast deck needs to run this anyway. It sends 4 from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, then it sends all cards on the field to the graveyard, and you special summon the same amount of Crystal Beasts as your opponent had cards on the field. So it clears your opponent's field, it doesn't destroy, so it can't be hit by Stardust or anything. So it's just a nice way to clear the field and usually go for game. Draw power next. 3 rare values. You just have to have 2 Crystal Beasts in your spell and trap card zone, and if you your opponent sends one of those to the graveyard, you get to draw 2 cards, so it's essentially a +1. Then you have 3 Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. Now this is a very nice card. As soon as it gets more and more powerful, the more Crystal Beasts you have in your spell and trap card zone. Starting with 1, this means it can't be destroyed, so people can't just MST it out of the way, or Heavy Storm or anything like that. Once per turn, halving the battle damage once you've got 2, so it's nice to sit behind if you're a bit buggered, which you tend to be. Once you've got 3, it becomes very nice. You just have to send one of your Crystal Beast monsters to the graveyard to negate spells and traps. 4, it becomes extra draw, and once you get to 5, you can special summon one from your spell and trap card zone. And if you have a Carbuncle, that means you're basically special summoning all of your spell and trap card zone, which is a nice bit of swarm. Next, 2 Crystal Beacons. Again, 3 would be nice, but space is too lacking. It special summons a Crystal Beast from your deck as long as you have 2 in your spell and trap card zone. And so yeah, another quick way to bring out Saphire nice and early and get your deck going. Then staples, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 MST, and that's all I had space for. It's quite sad really, but that's how it has to be. Then traps, it's really not got a lot because I don't like leaving stuff sat in my back row. But 3 Crystal Ragekis for some field hate, get past some bits that you can't, because a lot of negation shuts this deck down. Say Naturia Beast means that you can't use any of your spells really, and you're just sat there doing nothing until you can clear it out of the way. This is a good way of doing that. And finally, a Torrential Tribute. This means that you can just clear the field once your opponent brings out something too big. Losing your Crystal Beast is never really a problem because they just end up in your spell and trap card zone, so it doesn't really affect you, just your opponent. So yeah, that's the deck. We're going to move on now to the extra deck. Right, I have got some synchros in here even though I don't run a tuner, just because the Monster Reborn can sometimes make that little bit of difference. I've got 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, an Iron Chain Dragon, Ancient Fairy, Field Spell, Stopping Gravekeepers, all that nice stuff. Stardust, Ally of Justice Field Marshal, another little bit of extra draw every time you kill a attack a face down monster with it. Flamvell Uruquays, Piercing Through, always a good thing to have. Black Rose, obviously staple to try and clear the field if you're a bit buggered. Yeah, I'm a pretty ghost rat. Then a lot of XYZ, this is all I have, but I'm sure you've got better ones. 3 Brontosaurus, level 3, so you get it out with your Carbuncles. And yeah, every time you attack something, you can detach material to get a bit of damage on them, 1000. Illuminate, again, I really like draw, so I've got another one. It's easy to fill up your field with this, and just, they're pretty much all level 4s, your Crystal Beasts. So you just ram them all together to get whichever ones you like out, which is also why I've got a Utopia, again stalled but with an easy summon, just 2 Crystal Beasts. Wind Up Zenmeister, he's quite nice because you can reuse your Sap Pegs, you reset him, you use his effect to reset one and then just flip summon it again, put another Crystal Beast in your spell and trap card zone. And finally a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, just in case you come up again, because you have spare extra deck space, come up against anything that uses machines and Cyber Dragon, just ruin them. But yeah, that's all for this deck profile. That's Angrymessiah signing off.